But the main objective was, I'll tell you, is not to occupy Pakistan. No, never. Just blow off the visa, take away the passport. That's what Pakistani youth wants. Supplying arms to them, they were taking part physically. And that is where Pakistan Army chief nearly got hit. You saw Bombay High. You saw those SF, special commandos descending. You were there. Did you see that?
Yeah. You're watching Free Press Journal live on YouTube. I'm Afrida Rahman Ali. You may crack down on the enemy outside with all the firepower under your disposal, but what do you do of the enemy within? India is today faced with the challenge of a disease that is festering within our boundaries, a cancer that has just been diagnosed, hopefully at the right stage, as we discover a spy ring operating in connivance with Pakistani intelligence officers. Yes, I'm talking about young men and women who have been recruited, perhaps lured with a lot of incentives and allurements by the Pak army to give them the inputs. And this has been going on for quite some time. That is the shameful part of it all, that people from among us, ones from within the country, are playing this sabotage game, are betraying us on a day-to-day basis. All the details are now coming up slowly. The story is unfolding before us bit by bit in a way. So let me introduce you. Joining me here in the program is Wing Commander Praful Bakshi, a decorated Indian Air Force veteran. He's a noted defense analyst. Wing Commander Praful Bakshi, thank you so much for joining us. Very good evening. Pleasure to have you on the show.
Good evening and Jai Hind. And thank you very much, Afrida.
Yes.
I'm happy to be with
you. Good evening. So I was just reading your profile, and what it says is that you were commissioned as a fighter pilot in the Indian Air Force way back in 1968. You were part of the Indo-Pakistan War in 1971. You held the position of the chief spokesperson for the Ministry of Defense. You're a very well decorated Indian Air Force veteran. It's my privilege actually to have you on the show. We keep hearing your inputs on various platforms, but to have you here on Free Press Journal Live, it's a privilege for us. I want to begin by asking you, Wing Commander Bakshi, that now there is a sweeping crackdown on this alleged Pakistani-linked espionage racket, which has been operating with impunity, it seems. My worry as a citizen is, how is it that this was going on undetected? What do you make of it, and to what extent does it weaken us and our defense capabilities?
That's right, Afrida. You must understand that in a war, this aspect is very old, is as old as the hills. Previously, in Indian civilization, in our old records, we used to have something called Vishkanyas. We used to work for the enemy, to try to sabotage the king, get the information, kill him. That was there. But the honey traps have been very old. And a honey trap is when a beautiful woman is used against a man, or vice versa. But otherwise, there are the other methods of doing it, blackmailing, or probably you get mentally incentivized young people who are for your cause and against their motherland's cause. They join you also voluntarily.
Yeah.
They are also there. So many things are there, and so many ways are there where enemy can use your civilian force against you. And that has been seen, whether they buy off the service personnel, they buy off the women of their society, or buy off anybody who can give them information. Information is the main aspect, what they want. And that is what they get. So this lady Jyoti Malhotra and all those things, or the Mata Hari of the First World War, or so Lady Ruby of the Second World War, all these have been, for one reason, enemy wanted information through them. And they used to get the vital information. And without information, you cannot fight. So that is what.
So they were identified. Firstly, they were cultivated, nurtured in a very systematic manner. But my worry is that how does all of this go undetected? Why does it take a Pahalgam attack for us to actually, get awakened to this reality? Why isn't there a system already in place that ensures that such spying networks in today's age of information technology does not exist?
Afrida, the armed forces is the byproduct of the society where you live. You must understand. We are not Israel. We are not Pakistan. We are not China. We are a different society where democratic principles hold sway. How the Israel would have handled it, how China will handle it is totally different. If I suggest those methods, nobody will like it. So we have to live with this handicap. You call it handicap, or you can call it, for every good thing you want, you have to pay a price. And this is the price, because we have so many religions, so many factions. And Pakistan is taking advantage of the religious divide which India has. India was born out of religious divide. Kashmir was created out of religious divide. The terrorism is because of the difference in religion. And that is why they have an advantage. And this advantage and the democratic processes are there where the head of the state government does not have full power, like the Israeli head will have, the Chinese head will have, Korean head will have, Indian head will not have. Indian head will have the democratic value in his hand. Whether you value it or not is a different thing. But that is what it is. So we have to live with this. So, but the process is that now let's go back to 89. How did the Kashmiri Pandit thing happen? Whole Indian state knew. For 6 months the women were being raped, their bodies were being cut. Nobody moved, not a single FIR. The 44.5 to 5 lakh people exodus overnight. Nobody moved. Even the army is sitting 3 kilometers away. Nobody moved. See, this is a very strange society happening, which China, Israel don't understand. He says, how can you happen it like this in your country? But then what answer do we have? We have to live with it because we are so fond of it, this method of living. So, moment government puts its foot down, then they, अरे भाई emergency आ गई. Moment the government puts it down, ये Pakistan थोड़ी है. All these things will start happening. So our intelligence has to still, in spite of this handicap, we have to improve our intelligence. We have to improve, bring back those. Now, to please the population, we removed TADA. We removed all those terrorist rules and regulations, anti-terrorist. Why did we do that? To appease the people. Why didn't we react after Taj Mahal 2611? We didn't, to appease the people. Why did we act after Parliament? Because the democratic systems, we couldn't do that. So that what I'm trying to tell you, Afrida, is within this system, working, it is very difficult to suggest what we should do. If left to me, first thing I'll take away the system and try to bring in some other system, which will not be acceptable to a lot of people. Not me or a person like me.
So, if I'm getting you correctly, Wing Commander Bakshi, you are saying that Pakistan is trying to exploit the fault lines within us, and the current system, the democratic system, is working against us in certain ways in making certain people vulnerable to Pakistan and to their nefarious designs.
Because
so there is a section of people who become vulnerable.
I won't say that democratic system is working against us, but democracy is an inbuilt system of democracy. Is an inbuilt system of democracy. We are demanding more than required. See, question is, there is opposition there. They are also same religion. They are also there. Now their language is different. Why is this language different? What is the reason? They same people. Somebody supports China, somebody supports Pakistan. Why? How can it be possible? There has to be a reason. So everybody has his own opinion. They live with that.
But and again, maybe I'm digressing a bit, but say for instance, the arrest of Ali Khan Mahmoodabad, those things further accentuate the fault lines, further create communal divide. So that has been going on. It's not only from one side, but from the side of the government also, the current government. Certain steps that are taken also, it only gives Pakistan more opportunity to say that, look how divided they are.
Obviously, because Pakistan's relatives are here in India. I am from Pakistan, by the way, if you don't know. I'm from Rawalpindi. My relatives are there, converted there. So is the case. A lot of people, there is actually no difference between India and Pakistan. It is an artificial
Yeah,
divide.
yeah,
You cannot create a country on religion. A country is created on culture. There's never a
yeah.
religion. So you are taking shortcuts. So you can't create a country. But then British and American wanted it. So they created it. So they could come back to exploit us. That's what they're doing. We played their game. We made a fool of ourselves. Now we are making a. So now what has happened is the present government has now, within this constraint, they have worked out very well. Now they are, now suddenly you find the language has changed. After this Pahalgam thing, now the chief minister of Kashmir has said, how can I ask for state anymore? I could not save my people. Even Mehbooba has said her language is changing. You see, the person who handles democratic machinery has to be an expert. Modi, the way he's handling, Manmohan Singh could have handled it. They got scared. Modi is not scared. So what you are going to see now is going to be entire change. What I'm wanting now is going to come. What I
Yeah.
was saying should come is now coming one by one by one. I don't have to hurry. But you will see everything will happen. Why? Because Modi does not have the same political constraint like others had. He has a different sort of value systems. The way he
Yeah.
approaches is very different. So he'll
Yeah,
get it done.
but may I add another element to what you're saying? You are saying from a military perspective, I understand, but from the diplomatic perspective, again, some would say to in response to what you just said, that where you had the previous governments were able to isolate Pakistan. Pakistan was grey listed. There was no FTF. They were added to the FTF list, grey listed, and then there were no largesse extended from IMF. There were more countries supporting us earlier than we have now. So somewhere on one hand, you're saying militarily we are more empowered today, we can take action.
No, no,
We were more
Afrida,
restrained earlier, but
Afrida,
diplomatically, in terms of
Afrida,
allies,
Afrida, I will try to correct you. Militarily, I didn't say. Modi is not working militarily. Modi is handling the democratic systems in a different manner. He is firm. No military here. The question is no military here. Military was there when you brought the emergency during Indira Gandhi. That is military. Here, there is no military at all. But the constraints are the entire system was created during previous governments. This situation where we have reached is because of the last 45, 50 years. It is because of that. Why Kashmiri, the people now, when we used to go to Kashmir, the Kashmiris used to say, Aap India se aaye ho. That's what they used to say. Now they don't say anymore. Why? Things have improved. Now the things have improved. Every Kashmiri has now has consolidated. I was joined up in support with India. Previously it was not. There were black flags, Kashmir, Pakistan flags. None of them. This not because military has been brought in. It is because the awareness to the political system has been handled in such a way. This is where the expertise lies. And
yeah,
this
but
is what.
also you are also saying that this time we have not shied away from taking action, and we have
Yes,
not restrained ourselves honoring international border or LOC. We
yes,
have decided that we will go in and we'll strike and we'll hurt you where it hurts the most. That
that's right.
decisiveness is also what you're pointing out, which has only been possible because of the military and our defense capabilities. That is what I was
No,
trying to say.
military was there earlier also. Military is
Hmm.
there now. It is a
Hmm.
will. It is a political will. That's all. Military was waiting
Yeah.
last time also. Military was every time waiting. Including 1962, Air Force was waiting. They to
Hmm.
attack when you removed it from there. So military has always been waiting. It has been used very judiciously now. Where you so
Hmm.
required to use. Why should you have a military if you don't want to use it? For the protection of your sovereignty. So you have
Hmm.
used it rightly. You didn't because previously you were scared you will lose votes. You will lose votes of
Yeah.
Muslims. That sort of thing. That was the main constraint. So that constraint Modi doesn't have. So that is there.
Hmm.
And mind you, with with this constraint Modi does not have. In fact, he has got more Muslim sympathizers now. Very
Yeah.
strange. It is has
Hmm.
because Muslims have suddenly realized that here we are getting now respected. Now our verse is being known. So that is what is it. So this is where it is. I have some number of Muslim friends. One day we can meet and we talk. I'll bring them to you. Then you see what the feeling is. It is not no more there. Previously, they were shy of using military, and they were shy of displeasing the Muslim people. So they wanted to vote also, not use military. They were totally jumbled and muddled up.
Yeah.
That is
Now
that
I
is
want
what.
you to give us an assessment and your understanding of Operation Sindoor, and to what extent you feel that today our capabilities, our defense capabilities, are tested. And when the
Yes.
opportunity called for it, we proved ourselves. To what extent are you satisfied with that? Because there will be conflicting reports, competing narratives saying, our Rafale went down, so many of
So
our jets were lost. What is the extent of achievement and loss as per your understanding from Operation Sindhu?
let me tell you, Afrida, aircraft getting lost or not lost is very immaterial. If I'm flying, I got a bullet in a very crucial place. It's on fire. I have to eject. I have flown. That's why in the 1971 war, I know it. The first aircraft which crashed in Yugoslavia during the American campaign there was a stealth aircraft. First aircraft to be shot down. So that proves nothing. It is only a political point. A person who does not know aviation does a political point. That's all. But I don't say Rafael got shot down or no, because all pilots are safe. Everything is safe. Here the
Yeah.
question is that how we conducted how did we know our threat, realize the threat, weigh the threat, and use the appropriate method in a proportionate manner. You notice not a single civilian place was attacked, and yet all the military targets were destroyed because we used our stealth machinery, our precision machinery, PGMs, in a most precise manner. We did not even have to violate the border because the range of the BrahMos was 300 kilometers. You don't have to enter the border. Your BrahMos goes, you turn back from your own border. So there is absolutely simple. You use the right method. You use the harm. You use the meteor missile. You use the hammer. You use scalp from Rafale. Rafale came back. It did not even cross the border. So question does not arise. Question is how we used it, how we believed in our army and gave them the correct objective, and they respected the objective and carried out. But the main objective was, I'll tell you, is not to occupy Pakistan. No, never. Lahore. Our main objective is finish the terrorism and POK. Now, let me explain, Afrida, terrorism.
Sure.
Terrorism is, yes, army, Pakistan army wants to terrorize. They have this Hafiz, Saeed, and what are the fancy names are there? They have got all those
Jaish e
people.
Mohammed.
Jaish Mohammed, everything. Yeah, and their parties, LET, LEM, Jobi. They are controlled by the mullahs, mullah and ISI and army. Army is the main my bap of the terrorism. If I have to kill Hafiz Saeed,
Yeah.
no, I'll kill the army chief. He is the main person. But why does army want it? Army wants to remain in control of Pakistan. Why? Because army is controlling 85% of the commercial activity of entire Pakistan. All their associations, Shaheen and Falcon associations, they are controlling the, even air hostess training goes on under through them. Now imagine to the extent they are controlling. Now they have to stay in power because they are doing it. But how do they stay in power? They stay in power through terrorists. Kashmir. So public, now there are so many youths who are, massive amount of youth who are saying, why does Pakistan want terrorism? Why do we want Kashmir? We want borders with India open. We want to go to Bombay. We want to go to all these places. Commercial activity, visa, just blow off the visa, take away the passport. That's what Pakistani youth wants. There are politicians, Pakistani politicians want that. There are junior officers in army who want that. Pakistan is having a big problem now. But yet they are continuing this. So we said our main aim is first remove terrorism. But one main word, terrorism cannot survive until they have support of the sleeper cells. And sleeper cells are from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. Even in
mm,
Delhi, when they were blast in Aina Market, Paharganj, the railway station, Sarojini Nagar, 8 feet deep craters, because they are sleeper cells in Delhi. There are they are these madrasas which teach hatred, which teach the one language, that Hindu Muslim divide, Gazwaya Hind, all these things. So if you
yeah.
continue
I
teaching,
will pick on one of the things that you just said. What I found most striking about what you just said is that we just cannot go after the Jaish-e Mohammeds and the Hafiz Sayeds alone. We have to go after the Pak army and the army chief. And if it was left to you, that is what you would do. Can we do
yes.
that? Can we hit there? Can we go
So
head
so
on
so
to the
so
Pak,
so what?
the
So
chief of
now
the Pak
what happened?
military and the Pak
So,
army?
so what happened? So I'll come back to the narrative. Well, what happened when we attacked the POK bases? The Pakistan army, they opened the front. When Pakistan army started firing with their guns, etc., it means now they are coming to the action. Long range guns terrorists don't have. All mortars they don't have. So when they started doing that, then we decided we have to now silence them. So they attacked the Pakistan army, Rawalpindi base, main, Noor Khan,
Mm,
Sargoda,
mm,
all these
mm,
places they were made because they were now supplying arms to them. They were taking part physically. And that is where Pakistan army chief nearly got hit, because his headquarters was very close. He hid in the
yeah.
bunker for 2.5 hours. He had to be brought
Mm,
out. The question is, if Pakistan army now comes out physically in POK, when I am taking a POK, then my war.
mm,
So I draw Pakistan army like Indira Gandhi did. What did she do? She did not declare war on 71. She said, I will attack on 6th or 7th. So Pakistan attacked one day earlier. And that's what she wanted.
mm,
She wanted to
mm,
draw. So
mm.
we want to draw. If Pakistan comes out and fight, we are waiting for that. But we will not go to Rawalpindi and attack him. No, he will only do that if he takes part. When I am attacking POK, I am not attacking army. I have announced I am not attacking army. I am not attacking
Mm,
Pakistan civilian. I am attacking
mm,
the POK terrorists who are there. If
mm,
the Pakistan army says, if they retaliate with night
mm,
attacks and then drones, and how do you get the drones? How many thousands of drones can come by terrorists? 5'4" terrorists, they don't have any. So it means we had to do something about those drones. We had to do something about the missiles. And that's why you drew under Pakistan army. And this is how it
mm,
will happen
mm.
again.
Yeah. So you again said something which the government of India has not officially said, that we struck near the Noor Khan base, and that
Of
is
course,
what brought them down to the knees and forced them to,
no
plead for
Indian,
ceasefire. So you
Indian
believe
government
in
has,
that, right? That is what led to the ceasefire.
they went running to the
Hmm,
president, because what happened? Uh, Now, listen, I was not there, but I believe this has happened. My source say that
hmm,
the
hmm,
from in Sargoda, that 9.5
hmm.
kilometer long road which goes to Kirana Hill. Kirana Hill has the ammunition dump where they have
Yeah.
kept nuclear weapons also. They got hit. Now they felt there's some radiation leaked or not. Egypt sent boron a boron load of aircraft to decontaminate, etc. Whatever the case may be. But Pakistan got
Yeah.
so nervous that they went to President Trump, and President
Hmm,
Trump then, of
hmm,
course, called for ceasefire and wanted to take the advantage also in between, because he said, why should there be a free lunch? I must get my charges. So he also wanted to do that. That failed. But whatever the case may be, this is how it happened. So Indian government has agreed that they have struck Sargoda, they have struck Noor Khan. That's it, right. But the strike has been
yeah.
done from outside. Indian aircraft did not go into Pakistan.
Hmm,
That is
hmm.
what it is.
Yeah, one last question about both countries being nuclear armed, and Pakistan has a first use policy. We do not, we have a no first use policy. So as for me, and I'm just a layman, I see two disadvantages. One is the nuclear policy. The second, which you also hinted in a way, that the Pak army operates on its own. It is the boss, and there are these dual power centers, but the army is supersedes. Here you have the army reporting to the elected government. So I see these two things as, compared to Pakistan, how we stand, and sometimes this acts against us. What would you say to that?
I personally feel this doesn't act against us. Why?
Mm,
Because army does not understand, does not have the entire information of what the political connection and external affairs connection are there. What until and unless the army commander is also the prime minister, then only it can happen. He does not have
mm,
access, so
mm.
he must to know the entire picture. That is why it is there. In some countries, the like all pre. Let me tell you, Afrida, all the kings from last 10,000 years, they ruled the countries through army. Democracy has just come in now
Mm,
only. They all everybody ruled through army, and still they are going on. But only thing is, then when you rule through army, you have direct control of everything. King has a direct control. When you
Would
rule
you
through
like that
democracy,
for us? Would you like that system to be here? Personally,
no,
would
I
you
want
say that is
no.
what is
I would like democracy because I personally
okay?
feel
Fair enough.
democracy is there because everybody gets a chance to come up. Because in an army, then the entire thinking is on one line, focus, and then you become a dictatorship government. That is
Mm,
every. All have you noticed? Every Islamic country is military rule. Have you noticed?
mm, mm.
Not
Yeah.
if not military rule, military is a great power next to the head of the state. Every Islamic country. You see Egypt,
What about
you
the
see
nuclear
Sudan.
policy? Your observation on that? Because we are
We
not
are
at par
no,
in terms of our no first
no.
use
We are,
policy.
it is
No.
very good. We are no first use is very good because let me tell you, when you are going to be stuck, you come to know if you are sensible and you have your civil defense is in order. I know even Bombay does not civil defense is not very much in order, though it is better than Delhi. Your trenches, your bunkers, your nuclear shelters, your decontaminating centers, your medicinal centers, all these things have to be built. Bomb disposal units, dead body extraction process, everything has to be built in. That process has to develop. Then only things will happen. If I have some power, I will make sure that these things come up first. And army is very happy where they are.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so
What
because what
about
happened?
military intelligence, Wing Commander Bakshi? One last word on that, like because people are questioning, a lot of experts are questioning our intelligence when it came to Pahalgam, and even now in detection of the firings or in the delay of ratting out these elements who have been helping Pakistani authorities.
You are asking for about the
Military intelligence and whether there
military.
has been a laxity in how they function.
No, no, no. Military intelligence is the capability of when you have a lot of agencies in one field, like police has
Hmm.
intelligence, IB has intelligence, paramilitary have intelligence, army have intelligence. Their coordination becomes difficult. So
Hmm.
the military intelligence, ultimately everything military has to do. So military gets, so the things get lax.
Hmm.
The same news comes to you very late. Now, the process of what Israel is having is totally different. Because China is
Hmm.
having totally different. If they'll take 10 seconds to 10 minutes to get the information, we'll get probably 25 minutes to 30 minutes to get the information because
Hmm.
of so many agencies. This is the lacuna. But then it can be met if we want. Especially, we can start with Kashmir by having one command and control. We can do that. But that
Right.
does not mean that army to take it over. It is only for that portion. Like when the war goes, everything is controlled by army on the border.
Hmm.
At the moment, paramilitary forces there, paramilitary forces in
Yeah.
front, army is behind. When the balloon goes up, war, then interchangeable, and paramilitary comes under the army. That is a normal rule. This is the right way of doing things. We must do that. I
Mhm.
personally feel only thing is that we have. But let me also tell you, there will be a lot of pros and cons to it. Some things are faster, some things are permanent and slower. Indian Army is considered the best. Why? Our equipment is not the best.
Mhm.
Afrida, our equipment is not the best. We are still not making any major engines or tanks or aircraft. We have just started making LCA. Other
Mhm.
countries are there, but the quality of our fighting soldiers is
Mhm.
what
Mhm.
do you call it? It's traditional. Like, for
Mhm.
example, me from Pakistan, my entire village was from army. My father, grandfather, great grandfather, everybody was in army. Everybody. So that's
Mhm.
what we
Mhm.
did.
Mhm.
So India has this system. And India, armies are there, which other countries don't have. That's why when we do exercise with European countries, they don't even stand 30% chance in every exercise. American Air Force commander lost his job on the first exercise, COPE India, because he thought India is a third world country, we'll do this. When they came here, they failed everywhere. They couldn't meet it. Suddenly, then when they came next time, they said, no, we will not do country-wise. We will mix ourselves and then do. So this actually happened. Then France came, Singapore came, Russia came. Everybody did exercise with us. They still do. That is the quality.
It's a very interesting point, and that would be my takeaway, that it's not just the weaponry that matters, it's the spirit, the fighting spirit, the guts and the gumption that we show each and every time. And you have fought for us.
You saw Bombay High. You saw Bombay High. You saw those SF, special commandos descending. You were there. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So there you are.
Wing Commander Praful Bakshi, you have won a battle for us in 1971. So hats off to you, and everything that you said today in the program means a lot. We value your thoughts. Thank you so much. Have a nice evening, Wing Commander Bakshi. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Afrida. Thank you very much. My regards to everybody. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Jai Hind.